Hey guy,
Yo, mofo.
you're very bananaed out today.
Yeah, I am. I
Jesus, it's wild.
yeah, I just wanted to throw a shirt on today and I threw on a Bucky shirt and I just didn't like the way it looked this morning, so I threw on this one instead.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. When you like put a shirt on and you're like, it just doesn't feel right. When any
Yeah,
other time it would be fine, but
right.
that day it just didn't feel right. It
Yeah, that's
happens.
how it was.
Well, you're very bananaed out. Sorry I
Um,
didn't party animal it out over here, but
no, it's better, right? It was a last minute decision. Literally like 5 minutes before I got here. So
so I think we need to address the elephant in the room, and that's your new background.
yes, yes, this is my new
Or is it gonna be the background for good now, or is it just
uh,
today?
it will be more, you might see the other one once or twice more, but this one will probably be the majority of it.
Okay, so you're moving to the brick background like what I got, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to copy you is what it comes down to. I felt weird. I couldn't find an office in a city that has a red brick building
Yeah,
background, so I found this peach, beige, whatever the fuck color you want to call it.
yeah. That's
So,
actually on the outside of the building I'm in, is what that brick that you have looks like, kind of.
um,
But the inside is what is red. So I think they had two shipments of brick. Maybe they, like when they were building this building, they got like one shipment of red brick. So they were like, well, let's build this. And then like halfway, like maybe that company went out of business and they had to buy brick somewhere else. And then it became what you have. So
well, what I think happened, honestly, is the white part is an addition. So the red brick was the original foundation, the original house, and then they added on, or not house, building, and then they went on to the addition.
maybe, I don't
That's
know.
my guess. Now, I've never been to your building and establishment because you are, in a secret location. Uh, but judging by the quality of bricks, the amount of use they've had,
Yeah.
they've been weathered, so to speak.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
it is what it is. But here's the thing: it should be the guys who still high five in front of brick walls.
right.
Just extend the name.
Yeah. Well, in once this office is set up, I don't know if it will be the same background.
Ah, I think you're
I
gonna
don't-
use a different wall that is not brick.
Well, yeah, only because I don't know how I'm going to set up the office just yet.
Gotcha.
It's a tinier office than I'm used to.
Yeah.
The desk that I have currently will be going away because this is the office building's desk. I dig it because it raises and lowers like a stand-up desk thing,
Hmm.
but it's fucking huge and I don't need it in this office. And my desk is like a quarter of the size.
Yeah. That desk probably takes up a lot of space that you can use.
Yes, a lot of real estate is wasted by this desk.
Yeah. So,
But
well,
yeah, so eventually everything will be hunky-dory in here and I'll be officially using this office for its intended purposes.
nice podcasting.
Yes, podcasting and well, really talking is what this office is really going to be used for. It's just talking a
Yeah.
lot, you know.
Now, have you used that office for actual counseling yet, or no?
Not technically. Now, yesterday I took one of my tests that I need for one of my licensures. Now, the first time I took my test to get my license in Wisconsin, didn't study a lick. Said, you know what? I'm just going to go into it. If I pass, I pass. If I don't, I don't. Knowing that it's a hard test, and the guy next to my office at the time had already failed it, I think, 4 times at that time. So I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to go into it and see what happens. I took my test. I passed. No problem. I was like, cool. Got my test. Got my license. Awesome. And then about a month ago, the state of Indiana requires me to get this other test. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, I found out I could sign up for it. I literally had like 2 weeks. I signed up for 2 weeks ago for yesterday. And I'm like, I'm not going to bother studying. I know what I'm doing. I'm good. This test was harder than the first one. Um, and I needed 65 points to pass. Can you guess what I got?
64.
64.
It had to be. It's either that or 63. You're within probably two, I had to guess. So,
Yeah, I got a 64 and I'm like, are you kidding me? And see, so what it is it's 11 different case studies, okay? And each case study is broken up into three parts. So if you're really looking at like 33 different sections is
mm,
what I had to do. And the first three sections, I did each one and then went back and reread the question and changed a couple of answers and then went on. And after the third one, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to. I'm just gonna go with my first instinct. I'm not gonna go back and change any. Fuck it. I'm gonna go. So the rest of the test, I went with just my first answer. Didn't look at it. Didn't review shit. Got done. I think I had like an hour and 20 minutes left to spare. And because the way that it's set up, I couldn't go back and review any of the questions except for the last section I was on. And I'm like, submit it. No big deal. And I submitted it and I waited. Comes back fail. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I looked at it, 64 out of 65. And I'm like, if I wouldn't have second guessed myself in the first three, I would have passed. You know,
mm,
at least that's my thought process. That's the
yeah.
only thing that was different, you know. Or had I gone and rechecked myself on the other 11 or the other nine or 10, maybe I would have passed too, but I don't know. My only thought process is that. So I have to wait 30 more days before I can retake the test.
Yeah.
Um, Thing that sucks is it's a $250 test.
So each time you take it, you got to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that officially here yesterday. That's the first official counseling business I've done here.
So I
Uh,
guess the reason I was asking is you don't know how quiet it's going to be in terms of um like the walls. Like can you hear through the walls? Like if somebody's next door talking on the phone, can you hear them or
yeah, I don't know. So luckily, directly to my left, which is that way, um, it looks weird on the camera.
yeah,
But directly to my left is an open office that I will be also renting as of this Friday. And
gotcha.
that will be my arcade slash playroom, art room type thing. So directly next to me, I'm not worried about. Directly to my right is a company. I don't even know what they do. I've never seen anyone there, but I'm also not here very often right now.
Yeah.
Uh, and then on the other side of my arcade will be there is another counselor there.
Oh, okay.
I met her yesterday. Super nice lady. Um, Old school. Everything she does is paper. She doesn't have any electronics. No.
Well,
Yeah, because I asked her, like, so what do you use for this? You know, just asking counseling shop talk, you know. And she's like, yeah. Pulls out her drawer. She's like, I just have paper files. Everything's all paper. I take my notes paper, everything's paper. I have them write checks. I don't do anything electronic. And I was like, all right, cool. You're never gonna worry about getting hacked, but you could get worried about broken into your office, you know.
wasn't it most of the time unlocked anyways?
Yes, yes. I
I
did
know
ask her about that.
you've mentioned in passing, like,
Yeah,
yeah, when I've been here, this door is always unlocked and kind of ajar. It's like,
yeah,
but like you do have a secure building, so it's not like just random people can just
right, right.
walk up. But like still, it's kind of like, what's going on
Yeah,
here?
I asked her about that. I said, hey, so anytime I see it open, do you want me to lock it or shut it? And she's like, yeah, if you could, that'd be cool. She's like, I don't know why it happens. And I was like, well, my guess is you get busy and forget to, or you shut your door and go do something and then leave and didn't shut it all the way, you know?
Yeah,
So
either that or they're like, I don't know, do they come in and clean like
they
this?
do come in and clean, yeah.
So maybe the cleaning service is not like fully latching it or something.
Maybe. I don't know, because they've always latched and closed my door. My door's always been cool, except for the one time that I almost had a heart attack. Um, Tuesday. Tuesday night I stopped by because I stop by pretty much every day after work, check the mail and stuff because I've got stuff coming. And I came in Tuesday and where the like directly down. If I go out my door here and directly to my right,
Yeah.
all the way down at the end of the hall is the mail room. So when I got in the mail room, I came out of the mail room and I noticed, I'm like, it looks like my door is open and the light's on. I'm like, who the fuck? So I hauled ass down here. Sure enough, my door is
Hmm.
wide open, lights on, and nobody in it. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I
Yeah.
heard like vacuuming upstairs or like up the little wall here. So I went to the lady and I tapped her on the shoulder, scared the shit out of her. And I'm like, hey, are you cleaning office number 17? And she's like, which one's that? I was like, the one down there. She's like, oh, the one with the really cool purple couch. I'm like, yeah, that's mine. Yeah, why? I was like, because the door's wide open, lights are on. Like, I've never come here and seen that. I kind of freaked out a little bit. And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah. I think she took your garbage out and was going to get the window cleaner to do your windows. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Like, make sure you, she's like, oh, yeah, we always lock it and shut it. I was like, I thought so because I've come in before and the garbage has been taken out, but the door was locked and lights off. So she's like, yeah, she's just, you just caught her in an off moment. I was like, all right, cool. But it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
don't leave anything you want like seen out, I guess.
yeah, no, I won't. Like I've got a filing cabinet that locks that I'll bring once I can, get it out of the other place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm excited to be making the move here, it'd be my own place and it'd be cool. I got some really cool paintings that I bought yesterday at the Lobby of Hobbies.
Nice.
So
They're closed
yeah,
on Sundays.
I know that's why we went yesterday. So
Weird. I
yeah,
mean, speaking of closing, did you hear all these big box stores are closing for Easter? They're
no, I didn't
doing
hear that.
a what do they call it? Some sort of blah like a it's not this isn't right, but like a let's make money blackout or whatever. Like they're like I think it's like Lowe's and um like I don't know Walmart's not one of them. I think Target, Lowe's, um
Chick-fil-A.
well Chick-fil-A, your typical Sundays
Yeah, I
close
was making the
businesses,
joke.
but like these other big ones, they're shutting down on Easter for Easter, I guess.
Wow.
It's but they're calling it something blackout where they're just gonna close and I don't know. At first
Weird.
I thought it was uh
Like a
like a
joke.
protest on the tariffs or some shit like that. But then because it's on Easter, it might still be. I'm not sure, but um I don't know. Anyways, it's interesting, but then in that same like article it says well Walmart's not doing it. Of course not. Why would they?
Yeah, right. They'd be open on Christmas if they could.
Yeah. And there's a couple others that were like big ones that were like, yeah, we're not closing. Maybe Home Depot. I can't remember if they were on that list or not, but it
I
was
could see
like,
them closing because they're kind of like a family-oriented, like Christian type
yeah,
company.
yeah, they do stuff with like Special Olympics and all that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have a
Right.
Menards anymore. My only options are Home Depot or Lowe's.
Close.
Or well, I guess they have like Tractor Supply, which is a smaller version, but then they also got Ace Hardware, which is also a small version of like a hardware store. So,
Well, it depends on your Ace. Like the Ace Hardware down by my mom and dad in Florida. My mom loves that store.
yeah,
She's not like a builder or anything, but they've got so many odds and end knickknacks there. She
yeah,
loves going there. Like every time I visit, she makes me go with her there.
yeah. Well, they just opened a one by me. So, like literally in the last week, I think they opened because last weekend they were still working on the building. So I had to pop in there yesterday and get garbage bags.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I had stopped at the grocery store, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to look around because I was just needed garbage bags, and the grocery store did not have garbage bags. They had everything else, they have like packing and shipping supplies and all the stuff that you think they would have,
Right.
that or that you'd expect them to have garbage bags. Like they didn't even have like your kitchen garbage bags. Like they had nothing in terms of garbage bags.
Well, that's the new COVID thing. Everyone's taking garbage bags now.
They had they had what are those like not freezer bags, but they're like
Ziploc bags?
no, like bags for like keeping stuff cold. They had those, but they didn't have fucking garbage bags. Like, how do you like not even kitchen garbage bag? It's fine. I
Yeah,
needed the
that's
big
wild.
black yard ones anyways, but still.
Whoa, come on, man. Just say yard bags.
No, I needed the big black yard bags.
Right on.
I was doing some yard work yesterday and I had no garbage bags that fit my fucking can. So, anyways, I had to stop at the grocery store. I picked up some milk and then I was like, well, they don't have garbage bags. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware.
There
And
it
they were
is.
2 blocks up the road, so I went and stopped in at the brand new Ace and got my garbage bags. And the point is, I wanted to look around more, but I couldn't. And they have a big open area still. I don't think they've got in their riding mowers yet. I'm guessing that's where that's gonna go. They have like these electric push ones. Like all the brands have electric push mowers now.
Yeah.
DeWalt and I know like well they don't have Ryobi there, but I know Ryobi has one and
Yep.
they're all going electric, which I don't understand that, but I guess that's fine. How many batteries do you go through with your Ryobi when you mow?
So now that I bought a new one, um, I think she goes through three.
So it's one battery at a time, right?
No, you can put two in.
I'll put two, but you're essentially you'll drain three
Yeah.
for mowing. Okay, so
Yeah. Two will get you the backyard and a little bit of the front.
okay.
Or all of the front, a little bit of the back, depending on what you're deciding to do first.
Now is it quiet or does it
Oh yeah, dude, it's super quiet. It's
okay.
like barely louder than an electric car.
Okay. So you could
Yeah.
easily listen to like music and
Oh yeah, I do all the time.
you don't got to have it blasting. Like I still, gas mower type deal. So I put the headphones in, but like I can hear it, but like I have to turn the music up just to kind of drown out a little of that. And
Yeah. Yeah, I could literally like wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and mow my lawn and nobody would know.
really,
Hmm.
it's that quiet.
Yeah, super quiet. It's got headlights on it.
Guess I'm just wondering, like, if that should be something that I need to look into. One of these Alexa. I have everything DeWalt, so I was
Yeah,
thinking
the DeWalt one.
maybe a DeWalt, but I don't know. I kind of want a riding mower just to make things a little easier,
They
but
make
at the same
electric riding
time,
lawnmowers.
do they? That's crazy. I can't. How's that work?
That's on a bigger battery. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, they do. I looked at Ryobi's, it was like 29 or $3,200 or something like that.
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't do the lawn enough that I want to ride her. Like Joy does it more, so she can do it.
yeah.
You
Well,
know?
that yard, like, you got a big yard. It would probably go quicker if you had a riding
Yeah.
mower. But anyways, um, but that's the other thing is that I try to bag my grass because the dogs will bring in little
Look
pieces
long.
on there. Yeah, so it's if I bag it, which is a pain in the ass, you have to stop like every 5 minutes,
Hmm.
empty the bag out. But it keeps all that extra shit out of the grass. Now I also know that that extra shit's supposed to be good for your soil. So,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a battle. Well, do we want really good soil? Do we want to have less mess in the house from the dogs? And
Toss up. Do
so
every other.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm just gonna bag the backyard and leave the rest. Like the front yard will be normal, and that's the part everybody sees anyways, right? I don't give a shit what my backyard looks like.
I look at your backyard all the time.
I don't know how you do
I
that.
just log into the drone satellites and just, look at it.
Oh, okay. You hack into one of the New Jersey drones and fly it down,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
kind of peek around, go peek at your parents' house, fly it
Yeah.
fly it over to
I
my
just no parents' house. I just log into their ring.
Oh, okay. I That's something I still got to get hooked up at the house is all my ring cameras.
Yeah, do that. 'Cause then you'll be like
Also,
me. You have
it's
like
a
50
lot,
cameras.
dude. Like I gotta so I well you'll know when I'm about to do it because you'll start getting a flurry of texts probably
Yeah.
because I got a bunch of when I bought all that I bought the what are those things called? Solar panel things
Solar. Yeah.
to go with them. So I was looking the other day like how I wanted to do this, like if I have existing lights like already like outside, can I remove those and hardwire my shit in even if I've bought the solar
Um,
just for the power purpose, I guess.
no.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing I bought some that didn't have solar too.
Okay. Did you buy the wired ones?
I think so. I bought the figure this one out. All right. This is my brain. When I bought these, I was still living in Illinois. I
Mhm.
bought these cameras for when I moved, but based on my house where I lived. So I had, front door, I had side, like side door, I had back door, and then I had doorbell, and then I wanted like to be able to see these other. So if you have cameras in those locations, there were still some blind spots. So I got those extra solar ones
Yeah.
to see the spots that you're not seeing otherwise. So basically you have 360 view, right?
Hmm.
Well, where I moved, I have front door, back door, and I don't have a side door. So that was a hardwired one that don't need basically. But
Right.
I can put that in a different spot that has power going to it because it's one of those with the lights and the camera.
Hmm.
So you can hardwire in for the lights and just replace an existing one that's for the lights, basically, is at least how my mind's thinking now. Point is, I think I have too many cameras at this point by like three. I think I have like three too many cameras because I was basing it on that other house. I had more entry points than what I currently do. So,
Right.
um, I can get creative and all that. Now, my neighbor, he's a retired Chicago cop. He's got, if you've been to like these like you know, these like arenas or whatever where they have these monster fucking cameras that do like they can do the full 360 thing and all that. And that's what he's got. He's got these on all four corners of his house. And it's like, I don't even need cameras. This guy already knows what's going on in the whole neighborhood. So, are you sleeping? Well, there you are.
That was neat.
So, what did you last hear?
Uh, my neighbor was a Chicago cop you've been to, and that's it.
So, okay, I'll repeat from there. Sorry for those if the recording actually picked up everything I said and then cut off. You're gonna hear the repeat. Dave hasn't heard it though. So, like an arena where they have those big monster security cameras that will
Yeah.
like turn and all that. Yeah, my neighbor's got that on all corners of his house
Yeah.
because he's like security
Mhm.
minded and being a cop in Chicago, like dangerous. So, um, so I was like, I don't even need cameras because he's fucking got it covered.
Yeah,
Like,
his shit's probably covering his yard and might not be on
it
your.
covers like the whole neighborhood.
All right. Well,
It
cool.
is covering his yard, but his cameras can see like the whole like because he's at one end. Like there's nothing beyond. There's like a ranch beyond his house. So the one side of the house, it's like all you're gonna get over there is cows.
Mm,
or somebody fucking cows or whatever. The
right.
other direction, it gets like down the street. You can, and like where it's situated is you can see like there's a the road and then there's like a crossroad, and where he's situated, you can see everything like
Oh, nice.
part. So like my front yard's covered. Like he'll have that covered. My backyard, because my fence is up, he doesn't really you can't really see in the beyond the fence like in my yard, but you can see
Right.
above the fences and like down like you can see like fence, fence, and then down the road. But anyways, but yeah, the immediate around my house, my cameras are going to be more for my dogs. So I know because we've had an incident where the wind blew really hard and popped the gate. So like it popped the wood that was like
Yeah.
and gate was wide open. We didn't know it, and dogs got out. So and that same neighbor called and said, "Hey, your dogs are out," because he's got cameras. So,
Mm,
but if we would have known, we would have had camera on those two gates. We could have checked before we opened it.
let
But
them out. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what we do, especially at night. We check the cameras to make sure there's no raccoons, skunks,
yeah,
cats, dogs, possums, fox, deer, bear, coyote, any of that shit.
yeah. We got coyotes. I don't know about the rest of those things. I'm assuming there's raccoons, but we hear the coyotes. They do that. Have you ever heard them like bark
Hmm.
and howl and shit like that?
Yeah.
It's kind of eerie at first, and then you're like, oh, yeah, that's just the coyotes. And and then the only other thing we have to worry about in terms of predator is hawks because we have a little chihuahua, and
Uh,
there's woods right there, and them hawks just sit in the trees, and I wasn't there for this, but my wife says she let the chihuahua out, and normally we go out with her because coyotes can jump fences
mhm.
and whatnot. So, but it was during the day. She's like, yeah, it'll be fine. Let the dog out, and she was standing on like the porch, and you know how like the hawks will fly if they like go in between your yard and the sun. It's like a brief moment of like shade. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She saw this like kind of like sun and then shade and then sun, and she like looked up, and according to her, this hawk was like going down like about to go for the dog, and she ran out and grabbed the dog. And she said this hawk was probably 10 feet from like her
Mhm.
in the so like 10 feet up. So this thing was making a nosedive to
Yeah.
get the dog. And I said, well, what happened with the hawk then? Like what did it do after you? She's like, I don't know. I ran and grabbed the dog and ran to the house. I was like, but okay, well, I would want to know like did it like go perch itself and it's waiting, or like how do you know for sure it was gonna do like I don't know. I guess if I was out there, I probably wouldn't have picked the dog up, but I probably would have went out there and tried to like punch the fucking hawk or something like that. Just to, like, or like stood between my dog and the hawk to see what it would do.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure I would, I think I could win a fight between myself and a hawk, but I imagine I would get fucked up by its
Yeah,
talons and
you'd
shit.
get, yeah, you'd get a little fucked up. I don't
But
know. I don't
like I
think
think
you'd be
it
able to
would,
punch
I
it.
mean, hell of a story, right?
Would be.
So, anyways, um, coyotes and yeah, coyotes are loudest when they're mating, and apparently
Mhm.
it's mating season. So,
Yeah, springtime is mating season.
man, you be hearing them barking, and it's weird, dude. It's like because we had coyotes up north, but I never heard them. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And here, they're you can tell they're like probably just outside the fence. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they're
Like
probably in they're probably in your backyard underneath a bush doing it, and you don't even know.
there's no bushes back there, but there's like the fence line, and then there's forest. So I know they're like right there. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure. I just, and that's the other thing. I got these extra cameras. Maybe I'll throw some on the fence and point them into the woods just so I can see these coyotes. I
You
kind of
want to
want to
watch
get
some
the
coyote
the
porn?
thermal. I want the thermal camera where you can see like
Mm.
the heat, watch them kind of like walking by, or maybe I'll see deer or
Right.
whatever. I don't know.
Very
It's
cool.
it's also weird because people, I think I told you this in an earlier episode, people will just pull off the side of the fucking road and like you'll be driving down the highway and there'll be like a little section of woods and whatever, right? Think Illinois, Wisconsin, right? You'll be
Hmm.
driving, you'll see like a section of woods. Never will you see somebody pull off the highway and go to that woods park and then just go in there to hunt. Well, that happens here.
Really?
Yeah, there will be like it'll be a two-lane road. There's not even enough room to pull off the side. They will pull off the side because there's a little lake right there, and they're gonna go fish. And it's like, so it's weird, and I don't know if it's illegal or if that's legal because seems like you can hunt anywhere, and it seems like you can fish anywhere. If you have a license to fish, you can just go anywhere.
That's weird.
And if you feel like hunting, apparently you just pull off the fucking side of the road and like
Start shooting.
in Illinois and Wisconsin, there's designated areas
And times.
and times. Here, it does not seem like there's a designated anything. It's, well, I have a gun and I'm gonna go hunting now.
Got
Like
a gun in 3 hours to kill. I'm gonna go,
it's weird.
up on
Unless
that.
I need to look more into this because it's so strange, but you see it all the time. So I think I could literally stand in my yard and shoot into the woods and get me some deer or whatever. But I don't know. Oh,
Wow.
and then at the ranch, here's the last thing, and then we'll do words. There's that ranch, like I was saying, a bunch of cows, and they have donkeys. Donkeys are there to protect the cows. I didn't know this. I've learned this. Did you know donkeys protect cows? Okay,
No,
so
I just knew donkeys were stupid, and that was it.
apparently they're not as stupid as we've all thought. I think we've assumed they're stupid because they're called jackasses, right? But they're apparently coyotes will team up and attack cows, right? So the donkeys apparently hate coyotes. So if the donkey, if a coyote, a pack of coyotes comes in, the donkeys go after them and like stomp the shit out of the coyotes and fuck them up.
Really?
And there have been numerous times I feel like I'm like living in a zoo kind of or around a zoo because it's all these noises that I've never heard before. You'll hear the coyotes barking and doing all this shit, and then you'll start hearing the donkey. And I swear the donkey's got to be like because donkeys don't make noise unless they're like, well, you'll hear them, but like at night, you don't ever hear the donkeys. You don't hear the cows. You don't hear none of that. You hear coyotes. But if you hear the coyote and then all of a sudden you hear like the donkeys like freaking the fuck out, like making noise, you know the coyotes were getting near the cows. You just
Yeah.
know. And I'm just waiting to hear like the donkeys go crazy and then hear like screeching from a coyote that just got stomped to
Just got beat the fuck up.
like, but I like, I don't know, maybe it's a little morbid, but at the same time, I kind of want to see video. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So
I'd
I'm
like
like
to. I might have
trying
to
to tell my
YouTube that
neighbor,
later.
hey, turn your cameras. I want to see what the fuck's going on over on this ranch, you know? But it's
Yeah.
weird, dude. I tried to recording the sounds one night, but when I played it back, it was like too much like white noise. Like you couldn't really tell because I was trying to record it so I could play it for you, but
Hmm.
anyways. Maybe if I get my cameras out there, I can actually play you footage.
You gotta get closer too.
Yeah.
Just go stand right next to the coyotes as they're howling.
Yeah. I don't think it's not like they're super friendly, I'm guessing. But
Well, it depends. You might, just gotta break the ice.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to I mean, I'm sure I could lure them by putting food out there, little steak bits or something like that. I'm sure
Yeah,
that
steak bits, your
I would be able to
chihuahua,
get
anything.
really good footage of them, I'm sure. But I don't want them getting used to coming to my house. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I kind of want my dogs sent to keep them away from my property, but it is interesting listening to them in the distance. And I like to keep
Yeah.
that distance, I think. But
It's safer that way.
yeah. Anyways,
Let's do some words.
we're gonna do we're gonna do two Mad Libs here.
All
Uh,
right.
because this first one's really short. So we're gonna do two. So I'm gonna be asking you for a lot of words. And I'm gonna mix them between the two.
All right.
So that's something we've never done before. So
No, we have not.
all right. Let's start with verb ending in ing.
Howling.
What is it?
Howling.
Howling. I don't think you've ever used that word
I have not.
in a Mad Lib.
But since you're talking about it, I figured I might as well.
Yeah. Now just a regular verb.
Regular verb, shoot.
Okay. Um, hit me with a bunch of adjectives. Oh, wait, I need one more verb and then hit me with a bunch of
One
adjectives.
more straight verb.
Yep.
Whack off.
Jeez. All right, adjectives.
All right, we're gonna go with slippery, hot, dark, funny, moist, tall, fat,
Hang on. Let me make sure if I need any more. That might have taken care of it.
uh,
I do need one more.
mysterious.
All right. Now I need a color.
Yellow for bananas.
How about a place?
Um, let's go with Mount Rushmore.
Part of the body.
Eyeball.
Occupation.
Dentist.
Article of clothing.
Baseball cap.
All right. Now I need one plural noun.
Raccoons.
I need five non-plural nouns.
Five straight nouns. All right. Let's go with telephone, car,
Car.
car.
All right.
Um, hmm. Window, radio,
Last
tree,
one.
tree.
Tree. All right. Okay. We have completed these two Mad Libs.
Hmm.
The first one is called Patriotic Quotes. Okay.
Okay.
This is the shortish one. And then we'll get into the second one. The next time you really want to impress your parents at the dinner table, recite one of these dark quotes made famous by our howling fathers. Even better, throw one into your next history paper to knock your dentist's baseball cap off. Quote, history in general only informs us what funny government is. End quote. Thomas Jefferson. Next quote. May the sun in his course visit no Mount Rushmore more free, more happy, more fat, than this our own country. Daniel Webster.
Daniel was smart.
The next quote. The cement of this union is in the eyeball blood of every American. Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, I knew he liked to eat eyeballs.
Uh, Next quote. Patriot. The window who can whack off the loudest without knowing what he is hollering about. Mark Twain. All right. I think you froze again. Why does this keep happening? Hmm.
Dude, that's annoying.
It's got to be you this time because I'm not getting no notifications of internet issues.
Me neither. That's what I don't understand.
Maybe it's Zoom then. It's just Zoom's being shitty today.
Because
Because like I
you
got,
have full bars, I have full bars.
yeah, like and normally I would get like, like,
Internet is unstable.
yeah, but I'm not getting that. And I have good weather.
Me neither.
I don't have any reason why this would be fucking up. So,
No, this is the first time I've used Zoom here. I was able to take my test yesterday with no problems. And that was through not Zoom, but something similar because they have to record you while you're taking it. And so it's got to be Zoom.
yeah. Well, Zoom needs to get their shit together. Maybe after this one, you need to send them an email and be like, hey, you guys having issues today or something? Because I had a lot of freezing and whatnot.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah. Anyways, well, at
I
least we
heard,
finished that Mad Lib. Here's the second Mad Lib.
I heard Mark Twain. That was the last one. Was
Yeah,
that
that
the
was the end of that Mad Lib.
Okay.
So it froze in the right spot at least. All right, here's the second one. I love the USA. That's the name of it.
Okay.
Do you really love being an American telephone? Then show your pride on the 4th of July or any mysterious day by doing the following. Wear red, white, and yellow. Show off the colors of your country by wearing a moist outfit that looks like it was designed from the American flag. Put a flag outside your home. Just make sure to take it down if it rains. You don't want the flag to get slippery. Visit a hot memorial and pay your respects. Chances are there's a historical car and a lot closer to your home than you think. Do something artistic. Write a radio, shoot a song, or paint a tree to show your love for your country.
Paint a tree.
Yeah. Honor other people's raccoons and beliefs. Be tall to everyone you meet, and they will be tall to you in return.
Be tall, Ryan. Be tall.
Yep. I try. I try to be tall. All right. So there you go. We might have to switch books. Cracker Barrel Mad Lib doesn't seem to really be doing very good.
No.
They're just not as funny as they once were. I think, hate to say it, but you might need to go raunchy.
Yeah, I might have to.
The raunchy ones tend to be funnier. I don't know.
Yeah, they do. They hit more.
Yeah. And I know like we're trying to do a clean-ish show, but I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
maybe I'll go back to the R-rated version of Mad Libs and see if that'll work.
I mean, if anything, we might, man, I'd hate to take Mad Libs off the main show and put it into bonus
Yeah.
bonus content, but I'd have to because if I mean, not that they're not funny, there's some funny lines, but they're just
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe it's that book. We'll try a different book next week and
Okay.
see if that
Maybe if you give me the title
to give you like an idea.
to give me an idea for clean words that would
Yeah,
fit that narrative,
yeah. We
you
could
know.
do like probably what let's say a different like. Like I'm sure there's probably another podcast, let's just say, that does Mad Libs. I would be willing to bet that they pre-load their words
Oh
to
yeah, for
ensure
sure.
that it's funny. But what I like the organicness of it, the how we do it, but
Hmm.
we could cheat, I guess, and preload the words to guarantee that it's funny.
No.
I just kind of like the whole way that here's the thing. You do a Mad Lib, it's either gonna hit or it's gonna miss. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And so that's part of the
Yeah, the only way I'd say we cheat is give me the title
yeah,
before I give you words.
yeah. So you
We'll
can
try that next week. And if it doesn't hit like Raunchy does, then we'll just go back to Raunchy.
yeah. Like most of the time raunchy it was funny. I
It
mean,
was like a 95 percentile. Like 95% of the time it hit.
yeah.
5% it was
I mean, the other thing we could do is we could do a Mad Lib, but then we could also revisit an old Mad Lib and see is it still funny.
yeah. Yeah,
But
we
the
could
thing
do
is,
that.
we should have put a date on each one of those so that we could say, so
Oh
this
yeah.
is from such and such date. But it would be okay, like because we do have books. Like we could, I mean, we've got full books of these that
Hmm.
we've done. We could always revisit old ones, and who knows, maybe going back and rereading some of these older ones might be entertaining. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be an extra bonus,
Yeah. Yeah, that actually could be. I would watch that.
right?
Go back.
Some of those, man, we were crying laughing so hard.
Yeah, except some were really, really funny. Like, man. But that's the thing. You just like what we were talking about last week. You watch those movies when you were a kid, and then you go back,
Yeah,
rewatch, and it's like, oh man, this is a piece of shit. I wonder if returning to some of those Mad Libs, if we'd be like, oh man, these aren't funny at all. And it just happened to be like the
just
timing of it or
yeah,
something was
yeah,
just, oh well, we'd have to, that's something we could do for a bonus episode sometime for sure.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's jump into a Dear Dave.
Yes, let's.
All right. Slide this over here. Make it big so I can read it. All right. Subject line. I have dreams about killing my family members.
Okay.
Here's the meat of the letter. Hello, I'm a 14 female and I struggle with family, school, friends, and depressive issues. About a month ago, I had a dream about my parents being killed. Not by me, but by someone else who offered to do it for me. In the dream, I said yes. When I woke up, I asked myself, would I really say yes to that? And that's when everything started. Since then, I can't stop thinking about it. I've even started watching true crime documentaries to see how people hide evidence and where they go after committing a crime. Now, whenever I see my parents, I imagine killing them. Not long ago, I had another dream where I killed my sister, and when her husband walked in, I had to kill him too. I have a psychologist, but I'm too scared to tell him about this. He sees me as so innocent, and I don't want to ruin that image. So I've kept it to myself. At one point, I even thought about calling the police on myself because I'm afraid I might actually hurt my parents, but I didn't. Recently, my dad was in the hospital. While my family was really worried about him, I just hoped he wouldn't make it. I didn't want to see him again, but now that he's home, I feel sad that he's still alive. I have suicidal thoughts as well, so it really doesn't help my case. End of email. That's probably the most fucked up one we've gotten.
Yeah, so if this was like a legit email to me, I would be calling the police and telling them that they need to do a wellness check on this girl. And, because as a mandated reporter, we are to mandate and break confidentiality and HIPAA when there is I would say, a pretty direct threat to another person or persons. So the fact that she's worried that she may actually do it, the fact that she's doing the research on how to do it and get away with it, there's some serious issues there. So I would recommend contacting the local authorities to have them do a wellness check, talk to her, figure out what's up, and then she needs some serious inpatient treatment. You know, now if she doesn't want to go the police route, fine. Then she needs to go to not a psychologist, but an actual therapist and discuss the things that she wants to discuss. And maybe through their conversations, they'll see that it's not a direct threat. It's more of a passive threat. And it may not need to be warranted to be, mandated reporting it, but just going off of that, I would say yes, absolutely 100%.
Well, there's a few things that stick out to me in this. Um, the first thing I'll hit on is the line, I have a psychologist, but I'm too scared to tell him about this. He sees me as so innocent, and I don't want to ruin that image. You're seeing a psychologist, like whatever. Essentially, that line tells me that you're lying to your psychologist, like whatever,
Yep.
because so basically you're presenting one image to them that's not real.
Right.
It literally goes back to, and I don't remember if we did this on last week's show or if this was one of the bonus episodes. I think it was a bonus episode where we got into people that like, uh, not specifically this, but like people that, talked or like, kind of go see a counselor or a psychiatrist or whatever and don't really tell them the full story.
Yeah.
And where having family members come in and give an opinion could give the therapist more of an idea of what needs to be fixed or worked on here. There's an issue there. I mean, there's a whole bunch of issues in this thing,
Right.
but
Absolutely.
that to me is a major red flag. The other thing I want to hit on is so I had a dream about my parents being killed by someone else who offered to do it for me. And basically, since then, you've become obsessed with this idea of wanting to kill them or them not like dad was in the hospital and you're sad that he's still alive. Like what makes somebody's brain do that? Like take this turn
Oh,
at such a young age, 14.
yeah, and it's especially with kids these days because things like social media, TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, all that shit really doesn't it really takes away from their personal skills like actual talking to people, communicating. So if then they're so quick to jump to cry rooms and oh my God, I'm so offended, I'm so butthurt. When before we would just be like, shut the fuck up, like get over yourself, you know.
Mm.
Now because everyone's got fucking feelings, let's say she got home from school and wanted to go ride her bike, and dad said no. And now all of a sudden she wants him, she was pissed off at him, went to bed and had a dream about him dying, and she's like, oh, now I want to kill him because he didn't let me go fucking ride my bike. That's how stupid it is nowadays. Like, I've got a client that completely hates her kids. She's 14. She's 15. She just turned 15. Hates her parents because all their parents are doing is saying, hey, I see on this website from school that you've got 3 missing assignments. What's going on with those? Fuck you, you're so annoying. Like, I got my shit turned in. It's not my fault. The teacher didn't grade it yet. I turned my shit in. And then to come to find out that she didn't turn it in,
This sounds like my kid.
you know. Well,
It's that
I
same
didn't want
shit.
to say that.
No, but
But
no, I don't think it's what I guess what I'm getting at is this is a thing now. There's when we were in school, there was no website that parents could go check about missing assignments.
right.
Now, that's a thing. It's a thing for every school. You can
Yep.
log in, see, and I hear it all the time. Oh, I turned that assignment in. The teacher didn't grade it yet, or whatever. And it's like, here's the thing: is it's like it's the it's the perfect excuse because how can you argue that? Well, how do I know if the teacher, maybe they're telling me the truth until it comes out that, a week later that, oh yeah, that didn't get turned in. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Mm.
at the time, how do you know? Like, and then you have to basically build this case where, like, okay, so I'll believe you, the teacher hasn't graded it. Then you wait a week and it still hasn't been turned in, but the teacher still hasn't graded it. Like, you know what I mean? And then at what point do you, so let's say a week or two go by and the teacher's graded it because newer assignments that were assigned have been graded and are listed there, but that one from, 3 weeks ago isn't. So now you know that that was a lie when they told you, oh yeah, the teacher didn't grade it yet. So you have that happen enough times, you can build this. Well, you've shown me that you're not telling me the truth. So now when I say, what about these missed assignments? You can't get mad because you've shown me in the past that you can't be trusted, right? But I'll go 2 years ago. My kid had the worst teacher um, on God's green earth that I've ever seen or dealt with. And I could tell this by going to the parent teacher conference, the very first one that you go to at the beginning of the year, right?
Mm.
And this is the most unprepared, unprofessional. It was a complete fucking disaster shit show of a parent teacher conference. We were early, we were on time, like, there. We were in the classroom and the teacher wasn't there. We were in
Wow.
the normally you're waiting for the previous family to
To
leave.
leave, yeah.
We showed up and we're like, where in the fuck's the teacher? Because it's not ever a thing, right? Okay, maybe she had to go to the bathroom. We waited and waited and waited and waited. Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes go by. We're just like, at this point, we're no longer in the classroom. We're like in the hall, like kind of peeking in other classrooms where other families are talking to we're like, what the fuck is, like, this is strange. I've never had this before. And finally, like way down the hall, she comes around. She's got food and she's walking with like her DoorDash
Hmm.
coming down the hall. And I'm like, okay, so you went and got your DoorDash and these are timed. Like we're the
Right.
next family's here and
Ready to
we
go,
haven't
yeah.
gone yet. And so then we go in and she doesn't like it was one of these things like whose kid are you here for? Like whatever. And then or it was like it was fucking disaster. She like hands a piece, like she doesn't know anything. Like most teachers would be like, oh yeah, such and such kid. They're doing really good in this, and need some work in this and yada yada. You know what I mean? They go down, they like remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, she had no clue. Um, like we said the name and it was almost like she was like, who the fuck is that? Like, is that even one of my students? Then she's going through the paperwork, finds his name on a paper and hands it to us. And that's basically like something that was printed off that would basically be like we're here to hear you tell us of the first 3 weeks how everything's going. And you don't even know who my kid is. And then it was like it was like the worst thing ever. So we leave and go like we're like going to look at my kid's locker, to
Hmm.
see like what kind of bullshit he's got in there. And while we're doing that, the teacher at the next door, when she must have seen us or whatever, and she's like, she comes out and she's like, "Oh, I have him for reading or whatever it was." We got more out of that teacher in probably 45 seconds than we got out of his actual teacher that he had for, say, six of his
His classes,
eight
yeah.
classes or whatever. He has gym and then like he had this reading class, whatever this other class was. This lady told us more than what his actual teacher told us. And so we ended up going into her classroom, talking to her a little bit more. And on our way out, so like I said, that other family was waiting.
Right.
As we're walking back past that classroom, the teachers they had one of those window air conditioners. And this is where I was like, what the fuck is going on here? We walked past the room and she's standing in front of the air conditioner like having a fucking like I don't know if she said was asthmatic or what, but if she was having a hot flash, I don't know what it was, but she was like he like gasping for air in front of the air conditioner while this family's sitting at this, the little table, and they're like looking over like, what the fuck is going on? So
Right.
then as time would go on, my kid would come home and ask how his day was, whatever, and he'd tell me these different things. And like it was the only time where my kid could sit there and be like, uh, oh yeah, she hasn't graded it, where I'd actually be like, yeah,
That
I
makes sense.
totally believe you because this lady was a fucking shit show. And um, but the bad part is I feel like that school year was, how COVID stunted a lot of
Yeah.
growth for kids. I feel like it was another year of COVID for him because it's like I don't think you learned anything in that whole entire school year because the class was so disruptive because the teacher was such a shit show. Um, her way of doing anything was basically like, I'm just going to kick you out of class, like, and then like the kids, everybody was like just fucking uh, class clowns and whatever, and they acted that way because they knew they could get away with shit because she was such a shitty teacher and had no control of her room. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like I just like, and my kid would tell me that, oh yes, so and so is no longer in that class. Their parents asked to have them put into a different class because they weren't whatever. And but he tells me this like where there's like a month left of school. It's like, what's the point at this point? Like I feel like that whole year it was just fucked, and that's all because of that teacher. So, anyways, not that this has anything to do with this email, but I'm just saying, like that whole thing with the your client talking about, you know, the whole grading thing. It is a thing, and it's a new thing that as parents you have to, and as kids, we're all having to adjust to this new system of
Right.
I can go check your shit every single day and see that it get updated. Well, if the teachers aren't updating it regularly, yeah, kids are getting grounded or in trouble for shit that's
Not their fault, really.
not really their fault. But at the same time, it also gives them this like leeway of like, well, yeah, I didn't turn it. I didn't feel like fucking doing it, but I can just blame it on the teacher for a week, not really concerned with the punishment that's coming next week, though. You know what I mean? Like as a kid, you got to be smarter. Like that at some point you're not gonna be able to keep lying. Well, yeah, the teacher hasn't graded it from 7 months ago. Like,
Right.
come on, like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so going back to this email, do you think like what would we don't have any idea what would cause this? Because I have an idea.
No, it all depends. Like I said, I mean, there could be a plethora of different things with that small amount of information. There's not much for me to go on.
It'd be like I hate to go this route, but like supernatural, like some sort of demonic entity entered their brain or
No, because
their
they
their
would have
dreamscape. And
no, because they would have done it by now. They would have done something by now.
do you think so?
Yeah, and they definitely wouldn't reach out for help.
I feel like so in the first line you get pretty much what you need to know. I struggle with family, school, friends, and depressive issues. Right there, you need to go see a counselor.
Right.
I mean, we could have stopped at the first line. Now the rest of gets kind of terrifying,
Yeah.
but you clearly need help. Like you can go talk to someone. And your psychologist, we need to not sit there and
Yeah.
we
Not
we
have to
don't want
talk
the
you down.
psychologist to know or think you're just so innocent you don't want to ruin that image because you're not helping yourself or anybody here, you
Yeah,
know?
you're wasting time, really.
Yeah, you're wasting time and like I don't think and so here's the other thing is I think by reaching out, clearly this person knows there's an issue
Hmm.
because they're acknowledging that there's an issue. That's why they're talking about it.
Right.
But it's kind of like I don't want my like I find it odd that you wouldn't. want your psychologist to help you. I don't think psychologist is the right word here either. I think it's psychiatrist or something, but I don't know. I can only base it on what they're saying.
Right.
Because, well, I guess real quick, what's the difference between a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a counselor and a therapist?
So counselor and therapist, normally like the basic difference between a counselor and therapist is schooling. A counselor can be a bachelor level, a therapist is a master's level.
All right. Psychiatrist and psychologist then.
Uh, to my knowledge, the difference of those two is just being able to prescribe.
Okay.
The psychologist is going to look more of the neurological, like not mental, but more mind and brain for psychoeducation and talk therapy. Um, but then the psychiatrist is going to look at medication.
Gotcha. Okay. So psychiatrists can prescribe, psychologists cannot.
Correct.
Neither can counselors or therapists.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So maybe it is a psychologist, but um yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a dark one.
That's an intense one. It's I think it's odd because I it took a turn in that last paragraph about the dad being in the hospital. The I just hoped he would make it. I didn't want to see him again. But now that he's home, I thought it was gonna be like, I'm glad he's there. And it goes, I feel sad that he's still alive. That's like the next paragraph, assuming this continued on, would be I have taken my family cat into the woods and chopped it up into little pieces and I'm having a ritual around it. Okay, then you're basically the future of a serial killer.
Mhm.
Like, I was not expecting that next line to be what it was. I was expecting it to at least show some empathy,
Yeah, there is none.
but there was no empathy. So you definitely need to not be lying to your psychologist here. You need to break it down,
Yeah, absolutely.
um, because you're not doing yourself any favors. You will spend the rest of your life in prison, basically. And you're young. Could be a future for you if you get help. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, we'll just leave that one there. I don't think we do a second one on
Mhm.
that. All right. Have you watched anything new?
A few things.
Okay.
You?
I watched or went and saw a movie
Okay.
at the theaters um, that I could talk about. So, I guess let me share screen and we'll start with you.
So my wife has been talking to a lot of her friends at school, or at school, at work, about the TV show or the series The Chosen. Have you heard about this?
I've heard of The Chosen. I have not seen it. I don't know anything about it.
All right, so it's
Wait, is this
basically,
it?
yeah, that's it.
So there's a movie I thought called this.
That's there's a TV show, and apparently that must be in the next episode, or maybe it's a new season. I don't know. But yeah, the Chosen series is about Jesus of Nazareth and him finding his apostles. It's
His disciples?
yes, the disciples, apostles, whatever.
Okay.
It's heavy on religion, not surprising, but it is interesting. We've watched the first season now, and now we are on the second season. Um, well, it's getting some serious good reviews,
Yeah.
but
9.1. That's
yeah,
high reviews for
that's high praise for, no pun intended. But yeah, it's interesting. She's hooked, like, because she's super uber religious, so she's all about it.
Your
It's
wife is
yeah.
super uber religious?
Oh yeah.
Is this new?
Yeah.
She always been that way because I
Oh,
don't recall her being super religious.
she always is. She doesn't talk about it very often.
Ah,
But she is. She's super into God. They're besties. Um, but yeah, it's pretty good. I like it so far. It's interesting to, see their version of what Jesus's life was like in their portrayal of it. He is pretty funny. He's got some sarcasm in him, which I don't think is true to form, but it's funny in the show.
yeah.
There was he was talking to a Samaritan who basically robbed and beat a Jewish man and left him on the side of the road and left him naked and to die. And so the guy was telling Jesus and his disciples the story. And Jesus told him the guy didn't die. He knows he's whatever, blah 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 blah. And they're like, all right, well, we should probably get going because you don't know what kind of person's hiding in the dark to might jump out and beat us. And the guy kind of looks at him and he's like, what, too soon? Like I thought that was really funny. You
Mm,
know,
yeah.
obviously that's not a too soon is not a joke that was back around his time of life, but
Right.
I like it. So I mean, I'm kind of interested in it. I like
So it's
looking
five
at,
seasons, huh?
yeah, we have
So
four.
where do they start at? And then like,
It bounces around a lot, which I don't like. Like so the first season is basically him doing the wine to water thing,
mhm,
or water to wine rather. That was like his first miracle that he did in public, and then he healed a leper and did a couple other things. So he's just starting, and he's only got like 6 or 8 disciples right now.
okay.
Um, but it is interesting. He's just traveling around, and there are stories that I've known from growing up in. Sorry, I was reading what it was just saying, but I had remembered from growing up in or not high school, but growing up as a kid um, in a Catholic church. I remember a lot of the stories. So that was it's kind of cool. It's
Yeah.
interesting, to kind of go through. So we're watching that 2 episodes a day, pretty much.
Okay.
And I do have seasons 1 through 4 on Vudu.
All right.
Because originally it's Angel Studios originally, and then
Nice. Okay.
Angel Studios because it was on there, and then when she was talking about, it, I went on there to watch it, and it's not there anymore. It's now on Prime. So they must have sold it to Prime. So they're rocking it on Prime right now. But Prime, I don't pay the extra for commercials, so it really bugs me to watch commercials. So I looked and there was a sale on it because I'm guessing Easter's coming up. All 4 seasons for $25. I was like, shit, why not?
Yeah.
Because or that's $25 is one season.
It
So
looks like the season five premiere is in June or starts in June.
yeah.
So yeah, you're up to date. Season five hasn't come out yet, but they
Yeah. So
have done
that's
a season five, it looks like.
that's where I'm confused then because I haven't watched it yet, but I did buy The Last Supper. Now, that's why I was reading that on IMDb because I bought a movie called The Last Supper, which I thought was season 5 of The Chosen, which it is, but that's not out till June. So the movie I bought has nothing to do with The Chosen.
Yeah, there's The Chosen, The Last Supper is in theaters, at least where I'm at. And then it says something about uh season and part two or part one or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like it didn't make any sense to me. So obviously just based on that alone, I was like, nope, because it seems like there needed to be more and I didn't know anything about it. But
Right.
I think that's why it sounded familiar when you said The Chosen, because I've seen that. I guess I didn't know maybe prior to seeing that poster at the theater or online or whatever that it was a show. So
Yeah.
I'd be curious to check it out. I wonder if that's their end game is the you know, Easter, the rising from the dead, like or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. Or why they're making a movie in addition to the show. Why not just put that in the show? It's kind of weird. I guess you have to watch the whole thing and see how it all kind of
Close.
plays out. So, anyways, what else?
Now, the other thing is an old one that I never watched before, Two and a Half Men.
Oh, you had never seen that show
I
before?
never I never watched it. And I just started watching it. I'm like, I think I just started season two.
Okay. So
So
I have seen lots of episodes of that show.
mhm.
I didn't watch it like chronologically or whatever, but I have seen like, the whole thing. I don't think I maybe seen one or two episodes where they way in, like 9 seasons in, they switched from Charlie to Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't tell you if it was any good or not though, because
I was trying, I've been racking my brain. I started watching it like Wednesday night, and I'm like, why did they get rid of Charlie again? I don't remember why he got.
it was during the whole Tiger Blood thing where he found out he
Oh,
had AIDS. And I think they were trying to keep it going, the show, but not necessarily with Charlie. I think Charlie dies on the show or something in some like weird freak accident or something. And it's kind of like when they killed off Roseanne on the show called Roseanne.
yeah,
It's like, um, you can't kill off the main person and then just change the show to The Connors.
right.
Like, it's stupid. All because you don't like her big mouth. That lady's had a big mouth her entire life, and she's
Yeah, she
been very
has.
opinionated. I think it actually like, anyways, 2.5 men. So, what do you think of it?
It's pretty funny. I laugh a few times. I like it.
Yeah, it's clever. It's a clever show.
Yeah, I
That
mean, it would
good,
never
good
play on
lines
TV
for
now.
Charlie. The brothers, bombastic and
Yeah.
spastic kind of, and the kids, they give the kid a lot of like those little one-liner deals.
Yeah, he gets
Charlie
some
gets
good
a lot
zingers.
of digs in on his brother, and then there's Berta, the
Oh yeah, the maid.
the cleaning lady, yeah.
Mm.
The brother's ex-wife and all that.
A
But
lot of hot women on that show, I'll tell you that.
well, it's Charlie Sheen. It's
Yeah,
part of the course. So
yeah. But no, it's pretty good. But
yeah,
those are really the only two things I mean, I've been so busy. I've been working like 13 hours a day.
yeah. So by the time you
Uh,
get home, you're just like drained. And
yeah,
then
because
you got schoolwork too.
I got to do school and homework or school and notes from my day, and then yeah, and then it's like I can't even like. There's been days I get home and I'm like, I don't even one know what day it is. Two, I have like no mental capacity to do anything at all, and I just veg out in front of the TV for like 20 minutes and I'm out, and I wake up at like 3 in the morning and be like, oh, going to bed now. You know.
Yeah. I did that the other night. I was trying to like let the one dog stay out because we keep one dog in a cage,
Mhm.
and I was trying to give her a little extra time, and I ended up falling asleep on the couch and woke up at 5 in the morning, and I usually get up at like 5:45, 5:30, and I was like, well, it's fucking stupid to go to bed now.
Right.
So, but just laid there and anyways. So, let me share the screen and I will
What
talk
did you
about
see?
this movie. All right. You see it?
Yeah.
I went and saw Warfare. Um, the late night showing. It's like the red eye at 10:15 showing. And it's a pretty good movie. Probably not right before you want to go to bed though, because super intense. The sound on this, like the gun shooting. I know it's like, oh, it's just gun shooting, but like it's so realistic. Um, it So it says a platoon of Navy SEALs embark on a dangerous mission in Ramadi, Iraq, with the chaos and brotherhood of war retold through their memories of the event. So there's literally, if I had to, if you said, because at the end of the movie, I was like, what was their mission? You don't ever find that out. That they're there
Hmm.
to assist a bigger mission that you never find out about. And basically their position gets exposed and they come under attack. And this is based on real event, right?
Hmm.
And the whole movie then is basically them trying to get they have they have an injured guy or like two injured people. Um and the whole rest of the movie is them trying to just get those those injured guys rescued and get them out of that compromised position. And then that's literally, I'm gonna just say it, that's how the movie ends. There's literally like, so, and at first you're kind of like, well, fuck, there's like, what was the point of this movie? Or what was like, there's no good ending to it. There's like, whatever, but it's, it's kind of like what war is in general. Like it's to me it was good in those ways, but I can see where people would be like irritated by it because it's not like it doesn't tell a sweeping story over whatever. This literally covers this movie that's an hour and a half long covers something that probably was 5 hours
Right.
of a day, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like maybe not even 5 hours, maybe 7 hours. I don't know. But the point is, it was mostly, you know, Um, so it has that like where you just kind of feel like, well, fuck, I have questions. Like, what was their mission? What was the point of this movie? Well, the point of this movie is this incident. So it's not like Lone Survivor or uh what's the
13 hours.
13 hours, those kinds of things where there's like it's over the course of a period of time,
Hmm.
like days or whatever, or an entire mission or whatever. This is literally just a rescue mission that took place over the course of like 5 hours. And the resolve is, I guess, that they do. I'll spoil that part that they do get out of there, but it's it's intense. It's basically what I imagine if you had never been in the military or was involved in Iraq and those types of things. This is probably as true to what it was probably like on a daily basis for these guys
Right.
as has ever been depicted in a movie. Super
Okay.
realistic. Um, and I
So you
kind of,
recommend it then?
what's that?
Would you recommend it?
I would if you like this type of movie. If you're like my wife who wants Desperate Housewives or Real Housewives of something county, then you're not gonna like this.
Okay.
I like war movies. I like this kind of shit. So yes, this was right up my alley. I
Yeah.
liked probably not something you watch right before you go to bed, just because you're kind of like you're amped. But it was good. I think it's getting a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. So and then at the end of the movie, I like how they show the real people. You
Yeah,
know,
I like those. Yeah, I like when they
they
do
do
that.
that and they actually yeah, they show all the some of the people were blurred out because I think they're still active duty, but um the rest of them were there. They did a pretty good job matching the guys and what they look like. So
Cool.
it's always neat when they do that. So um I would say if you're into this kind of thing, go see it. If you're not, then you can probably pass on it. But that's what I saw. I was gonna go see one other thing, and instead I went to go see playoff hockey last night and watched the team lose and get booted out of the playoffs. So it's weird that you can be like the first place team for 3/4 of the season and then get kicked out of the first round by the lowest placed team in the playoffs. That's always interesting to me. So,
There's two reasons for that. Either one, they just suck, and two, it's rigged.
I'm leaning towards the it's rigged thing, but this is the refereeing was shoddy. But you can say that about any sport. Referees, umpires, all this.
Yeah,
It's always the ref's fault. But we saw this a lot with the Ice Hogs in Rockford. It seemed like the reffing, well, it was very clear to us. The reffing was very one-sided against the Ice Hogs.
yeah.
They would be like the last fucking lowest team going into the playoffs every year, and they would just limp into it. But then, like, every call is against them. It doesn't matter if it's home, away, whatever. It did not matter. It was like so one-sided towards another team. Here's my thing is if you're going to rig your playoffs, would you not rig your playoffs to have it be that your highest attendance, meaning the most money you can make as a league and as a team or teams, you would not have your highest attendance teams be the ones that go all the way if you're going to rig it for maximum uh collection of money.
Well, there's that, and they love to make a underdog story, so
Then
that
why the
way.
fuck did the Ice Hogs not have more championships? Because they were always the underdog story, and
Oh,
they
because
didn't they
the
didn't
league
get it
hated them.
until they had Martinson as coach, and basically not only did you have to beat the other team, but you had to beat the fucking refs that were on the thing, and you had to beat the commissioner, and you had to beat all these things. That was their underdog story, but they could have had an underdog story for 10 fucking seasons before that, or
Mhm.
5 seasons before that, or 6 seasons, or whatever it was. So I don't know if I buy the underdog story. I think that's an NFL thing. You
I
have a
don't know.
fucking first place team who is first place for 3/4 of the season, drops to second right before the playoffs begin, and lose to of the, let's say there's 10 or 12 teams in this league. The bottom two don't make it at all. And you're playing ranked 9 or 10. So you have number two playing either 9 or 10 and somehow lose.
Yeah.
Confusing to me. And then that's where I'm like, well, is it rigged? Because I feel like it's not. But at the same time, it's like, I get it. You could just get outplayed. Maybe if you're too confident, like, oh, we got this, and then you just don't play as hard. Totally buy that. But I think if you're going to rig, you're going to rig for the biggest attendance arenas and teams. And they're the only team in this league that sells out. They've sold out all season, all regular season. Every single game was sold out.
Wow.
And that even the streak goes back into previous season of sellouts. Like it started like midway through last season, all the way through this season. They've had like 40 something games in a row sold out, which is unheard of in minor sport.
Mhm.
Fuck,
Yeah.
even major sport, that's unheard of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Cool.
kind of strange. But yeah, like, don't you think if you're gonna rig this shit, you're gonna rig to where the people are gonna go and pay to
Hmm.
see this shit because the league gets the money too, teams get the money, arenas get the money. Like instead, you've got ranked 9 or 10 that's gonna go on and they're averaging 1,500 people as opposed to 6,500. Like I know that's not a lot, but it's minor. It's minor teams, but that's 5,000 person difference. 5,000 times how much a ticket is?
Yeah, oh, shit.
I feel
And you
like
got merch
I
and
feel like as a league, I would rig it to make sure that my top four attendance teams are gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like But I guess maybe that's the thing. Well, fuck it. Let's not make it obvious. We'll get rid of one of these top, but really the one that's going to sell out. Okay, I guess. Like,
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know. But either way, they lost. So, um, it wasn't anything new. I'm used to watching uh,
Yeah, your hockey
my
team is missing.
hometown team shit the bed in the playoffs. So, uh, I'm not super invested in it anyways, like I was with the Ice Hogs. Like
Right.
I had what 20 years with the Ice Hogs, so it was it was more build up for me with them. This is like I'm going on year one. So but hey, at least the whole regular season they were the premier team. So
Right. Right.
we got that going for us. But
Up until the last week, and then you were to the second place.
how do you fucking lose in the playoffs to like one of the worst teams? I just don't get it. But they obviously have a drive, and there's no fucking way that team makes it out of round two. There's
Right.
just no way.
Just
So,
because you said that they're going to win the whole thing now.
well, if they do, then and that's the thing. It's one of those. It'll be a storybook thing where
Mhm.
like we came out of nowhere and just meshed at the right time. You know what I mean? Or had
Right.
referees call shit at the right time for us. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I hate always going against the referees. I know we did that a lot in Rockford for the
Oh
Ice
yeah.
Hogs, but at a certain point, at these minor levels, we're not like putting money on this shit, really. You know what I mean? Like nobody's really gambling on minor sports. It's major sports people gamble on. So really, what are the refs like? What's their reason or advantage to swaying shit? You know what I mean?
Just
Other
financial.
than, huh?
Just financial.
Yeah, so it'd have to be like what we always said, like when we were playing Quad City, when we knew Quad City was paying the referees in poker or not poker chips, but in casino chips under the table. So of course they're gonna fucking referee in advantage to them. You know what I mean? Like that was a known thing. There was so many known scams in that league though. And this is that level of scam level league, right? Like it's that same kind of like lower, not even ECHL level, we're beneath that type shit. So
Mm.
there's that kind of shit going on. But I don't know. I don't want to blame the referees. I want to not yet. Give me a few
Yeah.
seasons.
Give you a couple
But
more
then I'll
seasons.
be right on board with all of it, I'm sure.
Right.
Anyways, um well, you got a
On a
appointment.
long day of work now. Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, I should probably get into socials, huh?
Yeah. Get some socials, and then we'll be back at it next week.
Yes, sir. All right. You want to email us, dear Dave, guys who still high number five at gmail.com. Go over to Patreon, patreon.com/ guys who still high five, all spelled out. Get all of our bonus content, $5 a month. Let's see. YouTube.com/@ that's the at symbol. Guys who still high five, all spelled out. And follow us on Instagram, guys who still high number five. TikTok is guys who still high five, all spelled out. And on X, we are at guys still high number five. And then all of your podcast apps and websites and all that, you go there and search guys who still high five, and you should find us because we're on all of them except Apple.
Except. Mm-hmm.
So other than that, um, yeah, that'll do it for this week.
I will.
Yeah. So until next time, right on.
Left off.